Last Christmas to give you my heart. I won't continue the song because I'll probably get a copyright notice, even though we don't make a cent out of these videos. Anyway, guys, I'm Best Guy, the one and only, the guy who usually watches terrible movies and he recommends it to you, and you probably don't watch them, but you should. Because today I'm going to mention legit good Christmas movies. Christmas is a great holiday where people, sit around, freeload, and pretend that they like each other for 2.5 hours until they go back home and jerk off. There's a lot of Christmas movies out there. There's a movie that I wanted to put on this list, but sadly I can't put it, and that movie is Die Hard. The only reason I won't put Die Hard as a Christmas movie, even though for a long time people keep saying, yeah, it's a Christmas movie, is for two reasons. One of them is valid, the other one is not. Valid one is that it's not really a Christmas movie. It's a Christmas Eve movie. It takes place on the 24th. It's not Christmas until Hans Gruber falls out of the Nakatomi Plaza into the ground, into the concrete. So I guess you didn't get to see Christmas after all. So it's not a Christmas movie, it's a Christmas Eve movie. And Bruce Willis says it's a Bruce Willis movie, which is just to inflate his ego even more, that he is Bruce Willis, Bruce fucking Willis, who now just stars in a bunch of direct-to-video movies that are awful. Number 5 is Tim Allen in The Santa Claus. So, okay, Santa Claus had a bunch of sequels, Santa Claus 2, Santa Claus 3. I don't know if there was a part 4, but the original one I like. I've seen it since I was a kid. It's literally just a guy who accidentally kills Santa Claus. So now Tim Allen becomes a new Santa Claus. No matter what he does, he keeps gaining weight. No matter how much he tries to shave off his beard, it keeps growing back. So he has to send a bunch of gifts on Christmas and leave his son alone on Christmas. That's so sad. But that's the plot of the film, and it's a 90s movie. If that was made today, everyone would go berserk saying, oh my God, you gotta call Child Protective Services. He's leaving his son alone on Christmas. But that's just basically the story of Santa Claus. It's very simplistic, it's very straightforward, but it's very enjoyable, and you probably will see it on TV because they'll probably play it. It's one of those movies that gets played a lot during Christmas. Number 4 is Bad Santa. Not the second one, the original. From what I hear, part 2 is pretty weak. I have not seen it, but part 1 has grown to my liking a lot over the years. It's unapologetically hilarious. Like, it does a lot of jokes that I don't think would come out today. And that's why I like it. That's when comedy used to be great, when you can just say whatever you want and people would know it's a work of fiction. It's a great laugh out loud raunchy comedy. It stars Billy Bob Thornton. It's funny how you can say a bunch of really messed up jokes to a little guy who's a character who plays one of his helpers, and the jokes just go perfectly fine. Like, no one blinks an eye to say, oh, this is offensive. It's a movie, it's a comedy. So if you can just sit back and not feel offended, you'll enjoy this movie. Number 3 is Gremlins. Gremlins is a really cute movie that is also, of course, pretty graphic for a PG film. It was released in the 80s. And of course, this wouldn't fly now. If this came out now, it would probably get a PG-13 rating. But Gremlins is literally a story of a little kid who gets this little furry little creature. He gets instructions on how to take care of the little creature. The father gets instructions from this old man who tells him you not put water, don't feed him too much. So they don't follow the rules. They start making duplicates. Once you drop water, it makes duplicates. And each duplicate of a duplicate just becomes a fucking gremlin, fucking like disgusting, really weird creatures. And of course, when I was a kid, this movie gave me nightmares. But watching it now, it's a fun, enjoyable movie. Sure, it's not for kids, even though it was intended for kids when it came out. And it takes place during Christmas. I enjoy it. Check it out. I don't know if it's available on streaming. Number 2 is a movie that the kids played all the time. Every single year I see it. Home Alone with Macaulay Culkin. Macaulay Culkin. Sounds like an Irish name. It is actually Irish. His actual real name is Macaulay Carter Culkin. And you're supposed to say it really fast. Macaulay Carter Culkin. So Home Alone is a movie that gets played every single year. I still watch both of them, for Home Alone and Home Alone 2. Home Alone 3, 4, and 5 do not exist. They were made, but I pretend they don't exist. And part 1 is a classic. It's a classic Christmas movie. A kid gets left behind at home, and the parents realize it once they're arrived in Paris. So the kid, instead of calling the cops, the way you resolve this movie is just kid calls the cops, but he doesn't. He decides to do an elaborate plan for these robbers who are called the Wet Bandits, who are breaking into houses and robbing things. And this kid is home alone on Christmas. And he tries doing things to make it look like there's people actually in the house, but they eventually find out that he's all alone, and Christmas they're planning to rob in the house. But Kevin does the traps in the house, which have now become very, very popular. It's a fun movie. Everyone loves this movie. I can't think of anybody who doesn't love Home Alone. Number 1 is a movie that is probably one of the earliest Christmas movies that I've ever seen and still holds up to this day, and that's A Christmas Story. Christmas Story is a story of a little kid who wants a BB gun for Christmas, but they keep telling him, you're gonna shoot your eye out, kid. You're gonna shoot your eye out, kid. He even writes a little letter in school where he says, you're gonna shoot your eye out, kid, and he gets a C- for saying that he wants a BB gun for Christmas. It's a movie that sometimes in certain channels it gets played, it's so good it gets played for 24 hours straight. It's a wonderful movie for people to watch on Christmas. So these are the top 5 Christmas movies. I hope you enjoyed this list. Don't watch all these movies on Christmas. Do spend some time with your family, you know. Don't do what I do, where I just go to a party, I get uninvited, you know, last minute, I just sit down and eat the food and then leave and go back home and watch all these movies I just mentioned. Don't do that. Actually spend some time with people, you know, and then, you know, come back and, you know, go to Dropping Loads, you subscribe, and then you check out this video once you've watched all those movies and spend time with your family. Anyway guys, until next time.